traders? Welcome out to your currency recap. It is February 7th. Corey here with you. As always, we're going to take a look at meaningful news. We're going to look at what's moving the markets in terms of currencies. Some trend reversals happening right now, which is really interesting. May develop some opportunities here shortly. And then cryptocurrency and forex trade ideas. We always try to highlight the strongest and the weakest areas and take advantage of those opportunities.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional forex and crypto traders. Maverick Currencies is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional forex and currency trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
So as we look at today, it was more of the same, which is in terms of equities, at least, the news continues to be this S&P 500 blow off top. We are zooming to the upside. In equities, the S&P is approaching and moving up and through that $5,000 or that 5,000 point marker, and that's a psychological resistance zone. A lot of people focus on these big round numbers. It's like when the Dow first got to 10,000 points and it struggled there and then eventually broke through. The S&P is up against that $5,000 point marker, and we've been zipping right up to it. So what normally happens is at least you would temporarily break through. My guess is that we will then fall back, but first a push up and through that. And this has been really a Goldilocks scenario. If you think about the markets and the economy, we've got lower oil prices, which is great for the consumer. Labor is strong. People have jobs. In fact, there's even been wage increases. Earnings have been strong. Companies are flush with cash, and asset prices have been climbing, and inflation's been coming down. I mean, it's kind of this perfect recipe. But here's the problem. That's what markets have already been pricing in. Remember, markets price in the future. They've already been pricing this in, and that's why equities have been so strong. The question is what's the economy going to look like in 6 to 9 months from now? That's what equities will start to price in going forward. So as we look at currencies, the Swiss franc underperforming, big downturn today, down 0.5%. It was the biggest currency mover. Everything else more flat on the trading session. Crypto with a big bounce back, up 2% today. Equities, like we said, remain strong. Oil bouncing slightly, up about 1%, but oil prices have been considerably lower. I mean, you've seen oil prices, gas prices weaken for a number of months. They've been rallying in the short term, but they've definitely been in a secular downtrend. Bitcoin up 2.3, Ethereum 2.5, Litecoin lagging flat on the session. Now, as we've talked about, we've had this +3 rating. Equity markets have been incredibly strong, resilient, and continue to break to the upside. So notice as we push higher, we're coming up to that $5,000 mark. Now, when you come to a psychological resistance, usually the market will, as it first comes up to this area, it'll push through. And the reason it'll temporarily blast through is there's a lot of stop losses right here, short covering and so on, and it will inflict max pain. So for the short sellers, a push above 5,000 will stop a lot of them out. They'll throw in the towel. They'll say, well, we can't stay short if the market's going to break through 5,000. But my guess is that that will be a little bit of a fake out move, and then you'll proceed to trade back below 5,000 and get a bigger, more meaningful correction. So do I anticipate that we're in the late stages of this rally, that we're within, a week or two of the top? That's kind of where I think we're at. We shall see if the market acts that way and behaves in that fashion. This week has been light on economics. If you're looking for economic events to drive asset prices, it's just not there. Most of what's happening now is technical. It's technical, like looking at 5,000 points. That's a technical barrier. It's not fundamental. We've got initial jobless claims tomorrow morning. We've got employment data out of Canada on Friday. We've got a couple of Fed speakers, but really there's just not much there. Nothing there should be hugely impactful to currencies and drive them one way or the other. So we're trading the technicals. The technicals have been difficult because what you've seen is a lot of the things that were on the weaker side have flip-flopped, and a lot of things that were on the stronger side have flip-flopped, and that makes for a difficult market. The things that had been trending down, they've kind of pushed back above these short-term moving averages. Things like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Things that had been trending upward have started to break down. Things like the Swiss franc. So what was strong is now weak. What was weak is now strong. Is this temporary? Are these true trend changes? We haven't seen those same changes in equities, in the bond market, in other asset classes. So is it only happening in currencies, and can it continue? I would tend to think, well, I'm not really trusting the move higher in Bitcoin and Ethereum and these things just yet. They'd have to maintain above these moving averages for a few sessions. You're seeing things like Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, they're not experiencing the upside. So there's a little bit of a bifurcated market. I'm not really trusting the move higher yet in these cryptocurrencies. Now let's talk about possible trades and trade ideas. So the euro is at least continuing within its trend. Where some other things have reversed, we've talked about how the euro's been a weaker currency. It's got a little support here, but looks poised to probably move down and below that. Notice the bearish crossover in the moving averages. I'm looking for things that are not behaving opposite to what their preceding trends were. The euro's been trending lower for the past couple of weeks and still down there on the lows, still low basing. Probably a good area to kind of consider a short. On the long side, hey, the CAD, it's been trending higher for the past few weeks and it's high basing up here. So probably a better opportunity to consider it on the long side. And I have to say, some of these counter trend moves caught me off guard. They frankly were the opposite of some of what I was setting up for and expecting. And so this is where stop outs happen, and I got stopped out on a thing or two. And that's the nature of markets. So some of these reversals have been kind of wishy-washy, choppy this week. Certainly not what we want. We'd love to see these trends persist, for strong things to continue to be strong, for weaker things to continue to be weak. But we saw some counter trend moves in some of these currencies this week for sure. For the rest of the week, we've got currency recaps all week, and then of course we'll send out the trading room this weekend. Hope you enjoyed this currency recap. Everyone have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.